everyone and welcome back to the Legal Diaries. So it's coming up to the 31st of July and those of you who are applying for training contracts at certain law firms know what the 31st of July means. For those of you who don't know, the 31st and the 30th of July is the deadline for a lot of training contract applications for big city global law firms. So the pressure is on and I have to admit I am actually feeling the pressure a lot. I don't know why, but I just find myself getting a bit almost sort of anxious. A lot of firms basically get you to fill out an online application and there's a whole big section where they ask maybe 3 or 4 questions where you have to write 500 or 300 words, and that is the main bulk of the application which everybody kind of focuses on and tries to perfect. Today I'm not going to talk to you about that because I'm not really qualified to. The one thing in which I can talk to you about is the way in which I am personally approaching applications this year, and to be quite frank with you, I think that sharing is caring. So hey, hopefully somebody does learn from this, or maybe you could kind of share your tips as well about how you're approaching applications. For me, the way in which I'm approaching applications is any bit on the form where there is a white box and opportunity for me to express myself, I am going to try my best to take that opportunity and to shine where I can. So what I thought I would do in this video is kind of talk through my previous work experience and then kind of state just the skills that I've learned from it and how I could possibly kind of link it back into the legal sector. You could get to kind of know a bit more about me and the roles in which I've previously taken before the paralegal role that I'm in now. Secondly, maybe some of you are currently in the roles I was in previously and you're wondering, okay, this is not where I want to be, but how do I kind of link it to a trainee solicitor, paralegal role, or link it back to law in general? So I'm going to start by just kind of talking you through the previous roles in which I've undertaken. So I got my pen and my notepad and I decided to write a list of everything which I've done since year 9. I was just carrying out basic tasks such as shadowing, running errands, going to court, making notes, welcoming clients, getting the tea, going to the photocopier. But then I was able to keep in contact with the solicitors that I shadowed. I did about a month's work experience there. I was able to again shadow, ask questions, do a little bit of drafting sometimes. They'd let me do things like that and just see, kind of test my skills and see where I was at, let me know where I was going wrong. I got an insight into different departments and it was very, very basic, to be perfectly honest with you, but it did give me an insight into what life in a high street firm was like. I then undertook legal assistant roles, and again this consisted of welcoming clients, drafting, keeping track of files, a bit of PA work as well was involved in it. It was mainly admin, I would say, but again I was inside a law firm, getting to understand how a law firm works, developing organisational skills. I was able to prioritise work, I was able to be timely, I was able to mix with members of the public. Now, as mentioned before, I am really inquisitive. So the reason as to why I took the role of a legal secretary is not because I wanted to become a career legal secretary, but because I knew that, okay, ultimately I want to become a solicitor. But in order for me to become a solicitor and work in a certain type of law firm, I want to know how every part of the law firm works. So for instance, I want to know how paralegals operate, I want to know how legal assistants operate, how PAs operate, how secretaries operate, how billing operates, everything. If I could learn everything, I actually would. So I wanted to try that and also develop new skills. I underestimated that job when I went in and I thought it's just going to be typing and kind of a bit of PA work. Now it is all of that and more. I developed so many skills. I went in with a typing speed of around, I think it was 68, and came up with about 79 words per minute. So first thing I learned was typing skills. I can audio type. I learned how to prioritize. I learned how to juggle multiple amounts of workload. I learned how to deal with clients, how to deal with difficult fee earners. I learned how to work as a team, but also working independently. I learned how to always be on call, always be flexible. I learned so many things that I still use in my current role today. I know there's some people out there who do not have legal experience, which is okay. Try and get it if you can. Just ring up as many law firms as you can, high street ones. You can always link your retail experience, presuming you've got that. For instance, I've worked in many places in retail. I've worked in Sainsbury's, Boots, Waitrose and Harrods before. Now, I always use that as an example of how I've dealt with difficult members of the public, how I've worked as part of a team. I always talk about any promotions I've had. So for instance, when I was working in Sainsbury's, I started off as a customer assistant. I then got promoted to a legal controller, and that gave me the kind of flexibility to move between the legal aspects of a job and then just the more basic aspects of a job, you know, serving customers on the till, welcoming them. But then I also got to learn more about the way in which the company works. I got to know what drives sales. I got to know what pulls customers in. I got to know why they comply with certain legal restrictions, why they have to operate in a certain way, how different levels of members operate. Try to get involved in whatever you can at whatever stage you're in. One thing that I do when I'm working is if I come across any exciting task that I've done or any particularly hard task that I've done, I always make a note of it and make a note of how I've gotten out of the situation. I then would update my CV, and when I then get that dreaded question about how have you ever had a difficult task to deal with and how did you overcome it, I can always flip back because I've already made those notes. Hopefully this video has helped some people out there or has given you some tips, you know, about the sort of roles that you can take, because it wasn't just straight come out of uni and then walk into a paralegal job. It was far from that for me. Thank you so much as always for watching this video, and I will speak to you in my next one. Bye.